This is 10 questions for atheists or unbelievers.
Does anybody want to take bets on how many of these questions we've seen a gajillion times before? Anybody? Well, let's give them a chance anyway. Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. I actually really like answering questions about atheism, but over the years one gets to recognize certain questions because they keep getting asked and keep getting answered. And yet they keep getting asked as if those answers were never given. What? Is it that if each individual theist isn't given answers to themselves personally, they'll never accept them? Or are they handed out question sheets at their place of worship because they think if the questions are asked enough, they'll drown out the answers? I mean, seriously, at what point do theists get together and say, yeah, okay, this tactic isn't working, time to change it up? Then again, they've been using the same long-debunked book for more than 2,000 years. Perhaps I shouldn't hold my breath on this one. Oh, and hey, genius. What are you doing filming vertical video, huh? Would you want to watch your favorite movies with the widescreen going up and down? Now listen carefully, because I don't want to have to explain this again using crayons and a puppet. You takes your phone, you turns it like this. Got it?
How can you look at creation and not believe in God?
Like this. See? I'm doing it right now. This question has been asked thousands, if not millions of times. And you know what it always sounds like when you people ask it? It sounds like you're saying, wow, the universe is really, really nifty. I don't know how it got here, so I'm going to say the magic man did it. And you should say it too, because the universe is really nifty and I don't understand it. Forgive me if my sense of wonder doesn't make me try to fill the empty spots in my knowledge with fairy tales in order to make myself feel better about it. Don't be embarrassed by saying I don't know. Be embarrassed by not doing anything about it. Or worse, claiming you do know when you don't because of fear or shame of your ignorance.
Where does morality come? If God doesn't exist, where does your sense of right and wrong come from? That's not something that can be created in a laboratory.
If you don't hit me, I won't hit you, and we'll both be better off for it. You really need a God for that? Get actual, kiddo.
Number 3. Why are you so angry at someone you don't believe in? You spend so much time. You go on Christian sites posing negative comments. You spend so much time trying to stop Christianity. Well, why do you spend all this time trying to stop something you don't believe in?
Because the people who do believe won't stop acting like assholes. You don't see me making videos about Thor, do you? I'm not protesting outside of the local Amish village. And you definitely don't see me trying to have Darth Vader banned from our schools. Why? Because you don't see their followers, if any of them still exist, trying to regulate who we can marry, how we engage in birth control, whether our kids should be indoctrinated with your faith in public schools, whether evolution should be taught, whether your God should be advertised on our money, and so on, and so on, and so on. If you can mind your own fucking business, we can mind ours. Deal? You do remember that whole if you don't hit me, I won't hit you morality thing, right?
Number 4. How can you live without hope? Without God, there's no hope. There's no reason for living. We live, we die, that's it.
And your only hope is to live forever after death, licking your God's feet? The funny thing is, I keep hearing from Christians that we have no purpose without God, but aside from worshiping the fucker, I've never heard their reason for living. And who says I don't have hope? I hope someday to go to space. I hope someday my animations will get me a gig in Hollywood. I hope to be able to live somewhere that I can rollerblade year-round. Oh, wait. That one's happening. I moved to San Diego at the beginning of May. Finally. I don't need God for hope, and I don't need the promise of an afterlife to have a good time. I'm sure as hell, not going to believe in an afterlife or a God if the only way to know they're real is by faith. I'm an apistivist. We reject faith, reject belief without evidence, and with good reason, in every sense of that word.
Number 5, why do you talk about morality when you don't believe in the author of it?
Oh, but I do believe in human self-preservation and cooperation. No God required for that.
What's the point?
Life sure is easier and more fun with people not abusing each other with reckless abandon, isn't it?
Number 6, What's it like to believe in something when the evidence for it is so overwhelming? You have all this creation. Everything is fitly tied together. If just a little was out of sync, we would float off in space.
Newsflash, genius. There's about 100 billion galaxies in space that we know about so far, each with billions of stars, most of which have planets in orbit. With odds like that, you can bet that something is going to come up as a quadruple Yahtzee. I'd be more amazed if there weren't lots of inhabited worlds. I'm just cranky nobody's come to visit us yet.
Number 7. Have you ever prayed or called out to God? I know of a lot of people that don't believe in God, but they still call out to Him, even though they say they don't believe in Him, which is just ludicrous.
No, it's cultural. Most of us were brought up in a place where people say, "Oh, thank God," when they're relieved, or "Jesus Christ" when they're surprised, or any number of such things. It's like Valley Girl speak from the 80s, or that Cockney rhyming slang, or Ebonics. You grow up around it, chances are you're going to say it, even if you don't mean it, even if it's completely wrong, like those chowderheads who say pop instead of soda. Pop is a nickname for dad or what weasels do in songs. It's not fizzy sugar drinks.
Number 8. Why do you pray to something that you don't believe in?
2 reasons. First of all, I think he's a good actor, okay? To me, that counts. Second, he looks like a guy who can get things done. Joe Pesci doesn't fuck around. With all due respect to George Carlin. And that's a lot due, believe me.
Number 9. How can you explain your existence?
Well, either I was gestated in a lab's uterine replicator vat, or possibly my parents fucked. I'm sure it was one of those.
Number 10. How can you create something from nothing when science says you can't?
I'm sorry, science says what now? Can't get something from nothing, eh? Totally scientifically accurate, that. No doubt about it. Sure, makes total sense.
So that's my response, and I'm just just wanted to put this online and start believing.
Like I said, nothing really new under the sun here. Unfortunately, they keep putting these same questions out there, and if nobody answers them, theirs will be the only voice being heard, and it'd be for the best if the voice of reason was much louder. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think. If you don't like what I'm saying, there's a good chance you're the reason I'm saying it.